It's not going to hurt. Right. I can promise you that. It's not going to hurt. But I'm going to tell you what, that is a big deal, that 48 car, Jimmie Johnson picking up 2/10. You and I talked about needed to pick up something. That is a big pickup.
And what did he say when we interviewed him, Larry? Something about maybe the car was dragging a little bit too much?
Maybe bottomed out just a little bit, but maybe that, you can raise it up a little bit.
Or can you put some more air pressure on those tires, try to get it up off the racetrack?
There's things you can do to get it up off the track.
I don't know what you can do, but that 24 is doing it. He's going somewhere now.
From the elder statesman of Hendrick Motorsports to their youngest driver, 21-year-old William Byron, last year's Rookie of the Year. He gets rid of the rookie stripe. This will be his second Daytona 500. And where will he start?
Well, he'll be on the pole.
Well, he's certainly going to be on the front row.
He'll be on the front row. That's going to be a...
Flames are fast.
What a lap.
46.31.
Are you kidding me?
That is 11/100ths faster than his first round lap.
Now that's a heck of a pickup right there.
Mike, history-making day for William Byron. Really both ends of the spectrum. His first career Cup pole and also the 700th Cup pole for Chevrolet. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Obviously for Chevrolet, Exalted Chevy was really fast. Credit to Chad and all the guys. It's been a great offseason. So we're prepared. We're ready. This is kind of the first step of our process together. So hopefully it goes well. Next Sunday we can kind of chill out throughout the appreciate it. Awesome. We can kind of hang out throughout the dual races and learn a little bit. So looking forward to it. It's awesome.
You looked at the Dartfish. You said you felt like there were a couple of different areas that you could have improved on in the final round.
Yeah, we just kind of we lacked a little bit getting up to speed. I think a little bit too much wheel spin. So this thing's fast. It's obviously a lot of credit to the guys. So looking forward to next Sunday.
Think about just a couple years ago, you hadn't even driven a race car, and then just a few years later, you're on pole for the biggest race.
Yeah, it's pretty special. Definitely a huge blessing. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Well, Vince, Chad Knaus knows all about making memories, and he certainly has made many throughout your career. Your old driver, Jimmie Johnson, walked up, extended his hand, and what did he tell you?
He said, you got me my first pole, and you got William his first pole. He said, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, man, that's fantastic. I couldn't be prouder of everybody on the 24 team, and honestly, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. A lot of effort went into all four of those cars. So to come down here, qualify on the pole with these guys, a new team with a new driver, representing Exalta and the 24 car has been a lot of fun.
You went over and you jumped up on the wall and you wanted to take a picture of the scoreboard because at Hendrick Motorsports there's no I in team. It's basically four cars in one team.
Yeah, it's such a huge accomplishment. We've got a small little military group of guys that really work hard on our super speedway program. Steve Berg, Corey Williams, Wayne Lehman, all these guys, they really put a lot of effort into them, and there's many others obviously as well, but man, they work really hard over the off season. To be able to see those cars 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front row, or in the first two rows like that, is just, it's awesome, man. It's a cool photograph. My alarm's going off. I got to pick pits here in a second. Sorry. But yeah, it's really great. I'm enjoying working with William and the guys. Really neat to come down here and be able to perform like that for Exalta and everybody at HMS.
In recent years, when we come to the beach, that the Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolets will be up at the front showcasing a lot of speed. And Rick Hendrick, you just kept saying to me, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
You work all these years coming down here, and you want all the cars to run well, and if you have one up front, a couple in the back, in the middle, but a tribute to our organization, the engine shop, the chassis body shop, and the teams, to come down here and run with four cars running that good. So can't believe it. Congratulations to Chevy for their 700th pole and our 5th in a row down here. And before I forget, I want to say hello to my wife, Linda. She fractured her leg. She's back home, and love you, baby. Wish you were here. But I'm so happy for William, for all our guys, for Alex on the outside, and Exalta, all the sponsors. This is Allies' first race, so we're just pumped. This is a good way to start the year.
And no one bleeds bow tie red more than you. 700 poles in Cup, and you were the man who got them 700.
Well, Chevrolet's been awful good to me. That was my first dealership. That's all I've ever raced. That's all my dad ever raced. At that bow tie, we're bow tie proud. Thinking about Jim Perkins today, and man, what a great day for Chevrolet, our organization, and these drivers. Really proud.
A lot of talk over the offseason about the changes at Hendrick Motorsports. William Byron now paired with Chad Knaus. A decision that Mr. H made, and a decision that looks to be paying off early at Speed Weeks here at Daytona as the combo gets the pole in the famous number 24.
It's obviously a huge day for us. Big day for Mr. Hendrick. We kind of got to check off the first thing off the list. So just a credit to the guys over the offseason, working very hard on our cars, and obviously to have 1 through 4 for the Daytona 500 is pretty awesome. So looking forward to what's ahead. I think that there's a lot of things we want to accomplish.
Coming down here to Daytona and getting through technical inspection, the car having speed has been a lot of fun. It means the world to me to be able to do this for Mr. H, Exalta, and then first time on the 24 cars, crew chief, to be able to do this is really kind of storybook.
To have all 4 cars up there in the top 4 in qualifying, man, that's a tribute to our guys working hard. I've been here before when I had one up front, one in the very back, one in the middle, and sponsors saying, what's wrong? Hopefully we can race good and win the big one on Sunday.
Now Hendrick Motorsports having a great day down here. All 4 cars are in the top 4. That's a good sign. 5 Daytona 500 poles in a row, and they earned Chevrolet their 700th pole in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. From Daytona International Speedway, I'm Jonathan Merritt.
Welcome to the Gander RV Duel at Daytona on FS1. 2 60-lap races to set the lineup and the field for Sunday's Daytona 500 on Fox. Let's have a look at the Gander RV starting grid. Daytona 500 pole sitter William Byron with his Hendrick teammate Jimmie Johnson have the front row for this one. Rookie Daniel Hemrick, past champ Martin Truex Jr. Brad Keselowski is the fastest Ford in this field. He'll roll off 5th. Next to Paul Menard in another Ford. Kyle Busch in a Toyota. Kevin Harvick in a Ford make up the 4th row. Tyler Reddick is guaranteed in on speed. He'll try to race in for a better starting spot there with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, all of these cars guaranteed to be in the Daytona 500, along with Ryan Newman, new to the Roush team. Ryan Truex must race his way in. Rookie Ryan Preece and Matt DiBenedetto with a new team at Toyota. Bubba Wallace and rookie Matt Tifft, new to Front Row Motorsports. Parker Kligerman must race his way in, along with Landon Castle and Cody Ware, the 21 drivers in this first duel. William Byron, last year's Sunoco Rookie of the Year. This year's Daytona 500 pole sitter will lead them to green as the pace car hits pit road. 21 cars looking to line up for the 500 based on the results of this race. We're under green.
There you go. Perfect. They are still double wide. 3/4 back. 1 back. The 19 is giving the 48 the best boost. You're clear by 1. They are double wide. You're clear. He is clear. You and the 48 are clear.
That is Tab Boyd, William Byron's spotter, coaching his driver around here to lead lap 1.
Well, we saw in the clash on Sunday how well teams work together, especially those Ford teams that coordinate how to move from one lane to the
Youngest front rows in history, 1999, 2002, average age 26. Drop it down another number, 21-year-old William Byron and 25-year-old Alex Bowman will start from the front row, the youngest front row in history. Each driver looking for their first Daytona 500. Alex Bowman was on pole here last year. They're both in Chevrolets, but behind them come the fast Fords. Kevin Harvick, the 2007 winner. Joey Logano won in 2015, and he's the series champion. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. won here in July 2017. And Clint Boyer looking for his first Daytona triumph.
Paul, and that might get Paul Menard in that potent 21 car. He could become the 6th different driver to win the 500 for the Wood Brothers. And Eric Almirola, remember, he was leading this race when he came to the white flag last year. Got Matt DiBenedetto. That's a new team. I expect great things out of him. Denny Hamlin, he has the closest margin of victory ever. Martin Truex Jr., he's new to the Gibbs team, but not new to winning. And then you got Kurt Busch, new to the Ganassi team, but he could be a factor.
The DW, let's go to row 7. Last year's impressive runner-up finish in the Daytona 500. Bubba Wallace, outside of him, led the most lap in last year's 500, Ryan Blaney. On to row 8. Finished in the top 5 at both Daytona races last year, Chris Buescher, and outside of him, in his last Cup start, 2010 Daytona 500 winner, Jamie McMurray. Row 9. The Hendrick duo, 2-time Daytona 500 winner Jimmie Johnson. Chase Elliott looking for his first, so close, ran out of fuel, 2 to go, 2017's Daytona 500. Row 10, Ryan Newman, don't count this guy out, 2008 Daytona 500 winner. And alongside him, defending Daytona 500 winner, Austin Dillon.
40 cars to start the Daytona 500 as you look through the second half of the starting field. Well, butterflies, let's see if we can hear them from our pole sitter.
William Byron, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yeah, it's far I got you, Jeff.
Well, buddy, you're leading the Daytona 500 to green here. Tell us, I mean, what's this week been like? What was it like waking up this morning knowing you're going to lead this field to green?
Well, it's an awesome feeling. Got a great race team, obviously, to make this happen, and we've had a smooth week, so we got goals to accomplish today, things we want to check off, and got to get to the end of this race. So got a fast race car to do it with.
Well, you got a lot of veterans there behind you. I'm just wondering, what's a young guy like you got for these veterans? How are you going to show them that the young guy can get it done today?
Yeah, it's a little different last year, but this year I don't really care what they think, so I'm going to do what it takes for us to win and see what happens.
Well, that's awesome. We look forward to it. Have a great one.
2 years ago, Kyle Larson had the lead on the final lap of the Daytona 500 and ran out of gas. If he's to win today, he's going to have to overcome another bad break. When his team arrived at the track today, they found oil under the car. They had to change the transmission. That means Larson will start from the tail. He says the key is not losing that lead group early in the race.
1,600 feet to the start line as Dale Earnhardt Jr., 2-time winner of the 500, is going to make that hard left turn.
And Mike, when I look 100,000 people on their feet anticipating the start of this race. Green flags in the air. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing at Daytona, boys.
Speeds building toward 200 miles per hour. Pole sitter Byron got an edge, slipped up in front of his teammate Alex Bowman, and 2 Chevrolets will lead them to complete lap 1.
Yeah, Mike, right now is when you know, after a couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps, tire pressure build up a little bit. Mike, they only got 550 horsepower, so when you get out of the throttle, you lose a lot of speed.
Martin Truex in the 19 shoots the gap, which closes up before Bowman can get there in the 88.
Byron.
Whoa, Byron up high in the 24, passes that whole group.
They're 4 wide off of turn 4. That's something we haven't seen in a while at Atlanta.
Well, you know what? I didn't realize there's another groove up there. I thought they'd run as high as you could go, but man, they were squeezing 4 wide coming off turn 4.
Nine's the only guy.
Kyle Busch, your leader. Let's see if he comes. William Byron now up to second. Kurt Busch, Paul Menard, David Reagan are the lead lap cars. And here comes your
leader. Almost missed it.
Man.
Very aggressive. Locked up that inside tire.
That was a wide berth getting in there.
Well, he's already had 2 races this weekend to practice that.
We know he makes up so much time getting in and getting out of the pits. I mean, we see it all the time.
Missed pit road one time at Atlanta last week. Wow, look at the yellow crowd over here on the left of your screen. Logano, Byron, and McDowell. Everybody but Blaney among the yellow cab squad. Kyle Busch, 4 Goodyears, tank of Sunoco race fuel, and away he goes.
I have to say, everybody has the same amount of problem getting out of their pit box. It's not, nobody has an advantage, or at least it doesn't appear that way.
Oh, Kyle Busch, too fast entering.
It was pretty aggressive, pretty wide berth, pretty hot.
I'll let you know when.
Well, we
talked about this pit road entry, how treacherous it can be.
And I was wondering if he was looking in his mirror. You see Blaney was right there. I think he was trying to get further around the corner so he didn't get run over by Blaney. He just could not get his tires to grip to brake to get slowed down.
Segment 1, right at the entry to pit road, is where Kyle Busch was over the speed limit and the 5-mile-an-hour cushion that they are allowed.
That's one thing we see with this aero package and rules for 2019. The drivers have to be so much more aggressive with everything that they do.
Don't cut your radius, don't push your lights, all red.
Kyle Busch will come back out 1 lap down in 17th place. So 4 drivers out front, Byron, Kurt Busch, Menard, Kyle Larson, and Daniel Hemrick, have yet to stop, Larry.
Well, and somewhat like we saw with a few drivers like Brad Keselowski.
And you know what I was going to say is that Kyle Busch is loving this right now because he has a lot of these cars a lap down. As this run goes on, those fresher tires are going to start eating into his lead, so he can only stay out there for so long.
There are 8 lead lap cars that have not yet pitted.
There are, Mike, but I can't tell you how impressed I am with the lap times of that 18 car at this point in the run. 42.30 last time by, 43.18 for second.
You want to bring him in?
No, I wouldn't, but I think he's coming.
Okay.
I'd stay out there, but he's coming.
Now, when Denny Hamlin pitted out of second, Kyle had a 2.2 second lead on him. This will turn the lead over to William Byron. Matt?
Great run so far by the 18 of Kyle Busch. You can see easy into his pit box. No chassis adjustments on the 18. Solid on the right side. Cam Waugh and Jeff Cordero going to work on the left. Lugs on and he's away.
Great stop and a great that crew gets it done every week.
So hoping for a caution and still on track, William Byron, Michael McDowell, Corey LaJoie, Matt Tifft, David Reagan, Landon Castle, and Ross Chastain.
Hey, my man Chad Knaus, he's got his guy leading right now. And remember, he got Jimmie Johnson his first win here. It's been a long time ago, but I know Chad would think it was a really cool deal if he could get William Byron his first win here.
Well, tell us what Chad Knaus is thinking up there on that box with this pit strategy for William Byron.
He's thinking, I'm loving this.
Byron has now led the most laps of all 4 Hendrick cars in 2019.
Boy, Denny Hamlin has had a tough time on pit road in recent years.
Second penalty this year for Hamlin as his teammate Kyle Busch surrenders the lead and comes to make his stop with 19 laps to go in stage 1.
Costly mistake for Denny Hamlin to do that under green flag conditions.
A drive-through penalty for Hamlin.
He gets a lot of penalties, but he always seems to overcome them some way. I don't know how they figure it out, but some way they always overcome them.
And Kyle Busch gets 4 tires under green. William Byron is the new leader.
Yeah, and I just wonder, is Chad Knaus going to try to push this all the way to the end, or is he just going to stay out front and see if a caution comes out?
A lot of shuffling here on pit road, and Kyle Busch picks up the lead, becomes the 4th different leader today. Almirola finishing up on the left sides. So now just Kyle Busch, Matt DiBenedetto still on track without making a stop. And here's Kyle. Jamie?
Well, Kyle was really tight early on, but they got the car a little bit better, worked his way into the top 10. Says he's tight all the way through the corner this time, so they'll adjust accordingly. And a 4th tire stop. There is the track bar adjustment for the 18.
So we cycle around to the 2 drivers that went off sequence with 2 tire stops earlier, William Byron and Joey Logano. 1-2.
And if you look right here in this picture, the 2-car Brad Keselowski, remember he waited an extra lap to come to pit road. That 9-car Chase Elliott was able to get back in front of the 2, so if this thing cycles out, he will be your leader if the caution doesn't come out. We bring Byron and Logano and Kurt Busch, some of those others down pit road.
But if they get a caution, Larry, they could pin all but the first 7 cars a lap down.
Well, I think Joey Logano's on pit road now in that 22 car, but you're right. They can go another 10 to 15 laps, Mike, but they're giving up a lot of time on the stopwatch.
See if Chad Knaus brings his young driver. Not this time.
Whoa, the 24 is loose. Okay.
But he is the leader, and right now he is the first of 7 cars on the lead lap. On the radio, they're telling Byron, give me 2 more laps.
And I say the 24 is loose. I remember when Jimmie Johnson drove for Chad. I never saw anybody that could hang on to a loose car like Jimmie Johnson could, and that's what made that car so fast. This young man here, he might have to learn to hang on to that loose car.
Well, you can be assured that crew chief Chad Knaus is pushing him to learn it.
Got it.
He'll be in next time.
Nice and smooth.
Everybody wants the lead that Kevin Harvick has. He has led every lap so far. First caution of the day, Ross Chastain gets the free pass. And if you watched last night's truck race, what an impressive victory for that young man.
He was doing it last night, and you know, we talk about steak, but he likes watermelons.
How about the save he had during that race? He's the white truck.
Oh, this win did not come easy. He had to hold on to that. What a great slide. Those trucks got some pretty good side force, and he used every bit of it right there. He goes by Stuart Friesen to take the lead and go on to the win.
I tell you, that kid is a driver. I really would like to see him in I'd like to see him in a really good equipment. Like we saw last year when he drove for Ganassi.
Tough for Friesen, who ran out of gas. And here they come to pit road. Regan?
The 2-car Brad Keselowski finds his pit stall. His race car has been too loose in and off of the corners so far. That's what's holding him back. He needs a little bit more stability there. Jamie?
And the 24, William Byron, such a good race car early on, was able to work his way up to 2nd. They were sticking with the plan coming into this race. No adjustments seen, Matt.
And Clint Boyer said his car was loose and it was also tight. They've already made a chassis adjustment. Bugger Ravage called for an air pressure change as well. He's away. Down on the 4, Harvick said he doesn't want to overstate it, but he doesn't want to understate it. The track much more free than he had expected. He needed a much bigger swing for the longer run expected. He lost a lot of spots on pit road with 2 tires.
Yes, there goes the lead. William Byron is first off pit road.
Look at all those 2 tires coming off pit road.
And the order changes just like that. Getting ready to restart after the competition caution. It'll be William Byron and Clint Boyer on the front row. Here tonight, Sport Performance Track Facts. Kevin Harvick won this race a year ago from the pole. That's where he started tonight. He's led 32 laps, but went way back on the pit stop because of a 4-tire change when everybody in front of him took 2. He'll restart 10th. Kansas is the 4th mile-and-a-half track of the season. Ford with 2 mile-and-a-half victories so far this year.
Be interesting to see how these 4 tires do against the 2 tires that everybody in front of Kevin Harvick took.
Going to add a lap before we go green. Gives me a second to congratulate the McReynolds family down in Mooresville, North Carolina, where Mary Kendall graduated University of Georgia. I'm saying that so Alabama fan Larry doesn't have to, but Larry, congratulations to Kendall and your family.
No, thank you. We're very proud of her, and she graduated in 3 years, double major, and she's coming home, going to go to UNC Charlotte to get her master's, so we are very proud, even though she made me put a bumper sticker that said, "I'm a Georgia dad," on the back of my truck. But you know what's happening right now? It's coming off.
Hey, Larry, I got a question for you. All these 2 tires. What do you think about that move? 9 cars that took 2 tires ahead of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I'm probably a little surprised, Jeff, because to my point earlier, those were the tires that you started the race on, and now they've got the cycle from qualifying. In this cycle, enough cars did it that it may pay dividends, but I'm anxious to see what 4 sticker tires do. I just think everybody's down that road, Jeff. Track position is king.
Larry, I guess if you're going to try 2 tires, now would be the time.
Yes, it would be, especially if you've got 8 or 9 buddies that tries it with you.
That always helps.
And William Byron does. He will lead the field to the restart on the outside.
Bubba Wallace did a really nice job giving Kyle Larson a big shove. Look at Bubba Wallace going to go to the lead.
Now, I want you to look at that. Who would have thought?
3 wide behind him. Here come those 4 tires on William Byron.
Whoa, Hendrick. Ah!
Bubba Wallace for Richard Petty. Off turn 4, and Kyle Larson on the high side.
As hard as you can. 2 back.
1 to go.
Now, Kyle Larson just rocketed off turn 4. That high line really paid off for him. But Bubba's got that inside working pretty good, and he's holding his own.
Was there a little bit of contact? Yeah, between the 42 and the 43 of Bubba Wallace.
That's side draft. That's a little too much side drafting.
Here they come. Winner advances. Everybody else stays out.
Awesome job by Bubba Wallace. Here comes
watch that bottom.
Whoa.
Watch that bottom.
It's William Byron.
Yes!
Him.
William Byron did it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What are you doing,
Didn't
Mike?
see that coming.
I didn't see any of that coming.
Hey, William told Chad Knaus I can get this done.
And he did.
But he did it with 4 tires. That was pretty amazing.
Oh, that was fun. But the guy that's, Bubba Wallace, I thought he was going to win that thing until he pushed up the hill into Hendrick. And here come William Byron.
And I thought William Byron was going to spin out.
I did too. He was sideways.
Well, All-Star Night is off to a great start.
Watch this, Mike. A 43 runs a 42 up the hill. Thinks all he's got to do is hold him off. Bam! Into the door. Hangs on to it and wins by a nose.
How about that? Rick Hendrick puts another of his Camaros into tonight's All-Star race. William Byron. William Byron, last year's Rookie of the Year, was 4th at the white flag, and he wins stage 1 to transfer to the All-Star race.
Rubbin's racing, boys. And that's some serious racing right there.
Yeah, I love that AstroTurf that the Speedway has put down there, because William Byron had 2 left side tires running through it to get to the finish line first.
That is close.
Is the whole night going to be like this?
Oh,
I hope so.
Restarts are going to really be who's going to win these things if we have late restarts.
A lot of damage to that left rear of Bubba Wallace from that contact of that William Byron and he made. I was just amazed those 2 were able to keep their cars going straight and even cross the finish line.
If William hadn't had those tires, I'm not sure he could have hung on to that thing, but those tires and all the downforce, he was able to hang on to it.
Well, one driver from that stage is going straight to the All-Star race. Here's Matt.
Mike, as you mentioned, 4th to 1st, coming down to take the white flag, and then you and Bubba Wallace banged sheet metal off of 4. You were sideways. Did you think it was all over at that point?
I thought it was. My eyes were pointing towards the infield, and I thought, man, this is over. So it was just crazy. The seas kind of parted for us. Obviously had 4 tires. I got a little tight off of 4 and didn't realize how much room was there, and then actually got the left sides in the grass a little bit coming to the line. But it was just amazing. It feels awesome to be in the All-Star race. Huge accomplishment for, I guess, myself. Chad's been here a number of times, but it feels good, and felt like the summer shootout out there.
And there's a little bit of damage to that right front.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll get it fixed up. Hopefully make it a little bit faster, so we'll be fine under the lights.
All right, congratulations. Mike?
Well, summer shootout is those Tuesday night races for the Legends cars where William won that $250,000 to propel his career into NASCAR.
And round she goes.
Not bad for a fellow who didn't start racing until he was 15 years old. So, Larry, what can Chad Knaus and these other crew chiefs that transfer into the All-Star race do to these cars while they're waiting?
Yeah, it's treated like an impound. Obviously, they can put 4 fresh tires, they can put fuel in, but let's use our Ford Cutaway car to show you some of the adjustments that Chad Knaus can make. One, you can adjust the wedge bolts. You can put wedge in, you can take wedge out. The other thing you can do is adjust the rear track bar. We saw the rear track bar that was broken on that car a little bit earlier. It's the track bar right there that holds the rear end in the center of the car. You can adjust it up or down depending on what that car was doing. But your big friend, and this is what Chad Knaus will really evaluate, is the grill, the nose on the car. How much tape you want to put on that grill opening right there, because tape at a high-speed track like this can be your best friend. You want as much as you can. It helps front downforce and helps the drag on the car.
Well, they'll have plenty of time to think about it. Stage 2 coming up.